Now, we've been reporting some breaking news this afternoon, which is that the Princess of Wales is recovering in hospital after having what the palace says was successful abdominal surgery. Kate Middleton's expected to stay in hospital for 2 weeks and is unlikely to resume her royal duties anytime before Easter.
Joining us now is former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole. Thanks very much for stepping into the breach at short notice, Michael, because this has taken us like a bolt from the blue. We had no idea about this. Suddenly, this was planned surgery, abdominal surgery, but clearly quite serious because she's going to be in hospital for at least 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, cancelled all engagements for the foreseeable future, at least until Easter. Obviously, we wish her all the best and her family, of course, at this difficult time. Yeah, quite a shock because she seemed to be like not just healthy, but a picture of health. Always playing tennis and joining in netball sessions with school kids. Yeah, quite a shock.
Yeah, Kevin, good afternoon, and good afternoon, Daisy. If I can reiterate what you said, of course, we wish her the very best and a rapid return to good health, because as you intimated, this is not a minor matter. This is quite serious surgery, quite clearly, because the modern way is to get people out of hospital as soon as possible, back on their feet and recovering in the real world. But a stay of 2 weeks in hospital indicates something far more seriously. I think it would be unwise and perhaps unkind to speculate at this moment exactly what it is, although I'm sure some newspapers will not be able to restrain themselves. But quite clearly, it's a major thing. It's obviously very private to her. The statement that's been put out, I think, is quite unusually full in its detail. And I do understand that after the initial stay in hospital, she will go to Windsor to recover and spend her time there. The Waleses have a house, Adelaide Cottage, on the Windsor estate, and that's probably where they will stay. But as you've already said, we're not going to see her in public until well after Easter. That rules out any possibility of foreign travel. Here we are in happier times when she's arriving at the Anfield Centre. That's probably something to do with health, because as the old Queen Mary said, we're the royal family. We love hospitals and we're never tired. And of course, they do go to many hospitals, usually as visitors. This, of course, is the exception. I understand the Prince of Wales was with her at the time of the surgery yesterday, the procedure, whatever it was, and he will be cutting back his schedule quite considerably in order to be with her and obviously with the family. It's, I think, typical and commendable of the princess, who is a very great asset to this country, the monarchy, and indeed the Commonwealth, that she has said, or allowed to be said on her behalf, that she will do her very best to reinstate all the engagements that she's now had to cancel because of this. The good thing about it, if there is a good thing, is that it wasn't an emergency. It was a planned procedure. They've obviously known about it and they've decided to deal with it now. And according to the account that we've given so far, it's been successful. So in that respect, I think we should all be very pleased and wish her the very best for a very speedy recovery.
Yeah. Michael, I think it's very interesting to reflect that not only are we not going to see the Princess of Wales until Easter, but we haven't seen her since Christmas Day. She hasn't been out and about. And although the palace has said this was elective surgery, of course, nearly all surgery is elective unless it is, you're in a hospital and you're rushed to a hospital and you have emergency surgery. But the vast proportion of surgeries are elective. That doesn't really tell us how serious. I think the fact that she's going to be in hospital, as Kevin said, for up to 2 weeks and not back at work for possibly 3 months does tell us, as you were saying, that this is serious.
Absolutely. Daisy, you're right on the button with this, of course, as usually are. And Kevin's right, because she is very fit. I mean, have you ever seen a greater picture of health? I mean, she takes part in every sport, every activity, does it well, usually beats her husband if it's a competitive competition, whether it's dragon boats or sailing or something involving a ball. So she's very fit and, of course, very slim, commendably slim for a woman who's had 3 children and is getting into middle age. She's just slightly older than her husband. But, he's a lucky toy boy because he married her, and she's been a tremendous asset to this country and conducted herself impeccably throughout the time that she has been, first of all, the Duchess of Cambridge, and now the Princess of Wales. I think they were planning or hoping to go to Australia later in the year and perhaps other places, certainly Italy, where they have the shared passion for Renaissance architecture and art. Whether that will have to be put on hold, we will not know. What they have asked, and I think it's entirely reasonable, that people shouldn't get too close and that they should respect her privacy and that of her family while she recovers. And that, I think, is entirely reasonable. Any woman in this situation, or indeed any man, would probably feel exactly the same. It's a private matter, but of course she's a public person. We're entitled to know, but we're only entitled to know what they want to tell us when they want to tell it.
Yeah. That brings me on to the point I wanted to make. I mean, this is very much a side issue at this very worrying moment while the Princess of Wales is recovering. But worth saying, I think it's time to compliment Kensington Palace on a very full statement. This is what I think is successful about William and Kate. They recognise the public interest in them. They recognise that to be a royal involves interaction with the people who one day William will rule as the king, and to sort of do this, to release this statement while calling for privacy, but cutting us into the action, I think is why Prince William and Kate are such a powerful and successful royal couple and an ideal couple to one day inherit the throne.
Kevin, you're absolutely spot on, because we are entitled to know. We are subjects of the crown. They're put in office above us. We're entitled to know. We don't have to press our nose against the window. Let's do it in a more dignified way. This is a fact. It has happened. Let us know as much as you think it's decent for us to know. And that's the way it should be. That is a good sign of modernity. It's a good sign of pulling down some of the shutters which shouldn't have been there anyway. And when you see them there, look, Prince William, he's an absolute ideal for the job. He gets on so well with her. When I see him, I see his mother. I really do. And Kate is a perfect compliment to him and what she does extremely well. If you and I and Daisy went to Central Casting and we said, please cast for us an ideal Prince and Princess of Wales, they'd come up with some people rather like the 2 people we're looking at there, probably on another hospital visit.
Yeah, I love the way that... So what they don't begrudge, and I'm not going to mention names here, they don't begrudge the interest of the public, the curiosity of the public towards them. Other members of the royal family who may not actually reside in this country anymore, not so much, if you know what I mean. If you bear with us, Michael, we're going to read the full statement from from Kensington Palace. Daisy's got a much nicer voice than me, so she's going to do it.
You do compliment me, Kevin. So this is what we have been told so far. This is the statement. It reads, Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales was admitted to the London clinic yesterday for planned abdominal surgery. The surgery was successful, and it's expected that she'll remain in hospital for 10 to 14 days before returning home to continue her recovery. Based on current medical advice, she is unlikely to return to public duties until after Easter. And of course, it did go on to say that the Princess and Prince would like to have her medical privacy respected by everybody. But as Michael Cole was just saying, that's going to be very difficult to stop any people trying to guess what does abdominal surgery mean. If you're in hospital for 14 days, that sounds serious. What could it have been, and so on. So there will be a lot of people.
There'll be speculation,
still
all right.
speculating. Absolutely.
But let's not try intrude too much. It's a difficult time for the Waleses. So,
yes, and of course, they're 3 young children.
Yeah, we wish them all the best.